Okay, hello and welcome to this game of Numenera. I'm your LDM. I'm going to be running a game today called Tarza. The players are going to be Tier 2, which is my first time dealing with players who are a little bit bigger and tougher. But yeah, it should be fun. So I'll get my players to introduce themselves. Go ahead. We'll start with whoever. I don't mind. Don't all rush at once, guys. Okay, we'll start with Nap.
Do you want me to do an intro too, or?
Yeah, sure. If you want, if you haven't, that's fine.
Bam! It's happening. All right, Andrew Knapp, aka SR2 Joker. Today I am going to be playing Wolf in quotation marks. He is a swift glaive that howls at the moon. So check this out, folks. We're in outer space. You see a long silver spaceship, a satellite have you floating around orbit. As it zooms in, an arm starts to lift off. Beep, boop, 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 as it opens out into a satellite and shoots a wave down at the planet. And all of a sudden you hear Duran Duran's Hungry Like the Wolf. Rushing down with this huge wave, you see a man sitting at a bar. He's going to take a drink, and it hits him like lightning. Hair starts to sprout out all over his chest, all over his arms. He starts to pull his skin off, getting it stuck in his nails. His snout elongating, teeth coming out into fangs. He leaps over the bar and starts tearing a man to shreds as people run out. It'd be your guys with a good game.
Excellent. Okay, so who wants to follow that?
All right. So you're in a monastery, and everything is just tall towers, these huge pillars of white, and on the floor is this very thin paper. You move over the surface of the paper. It's smooth. It's looks like it's maybe hot pressed, super thin. The doorway you see is like an inch thick of pure lead. You move through the door. This room, there's jets of fire shooting out everywhere. You move through the fire. One sips by the top of your head, another by your feet. The next is a key. You pick up the key. You put it into the door. It opens up. A giant fucking anvil drops right there. Boom! At the end of the hallway, there are 12 rows of monks, all in pews. They turn around. They stand up, their hands searching, grasping. They can't find anything. At the end of the hallway there with the monks, a book is picked up and closed. A man like a billow of smoke appears and pulls off his hood. One of the older monks, a seasoned fellow, with wrinkles coming down the side of his face, slowly starts to clap. You finish your training.
Excellent. Okay. Who'd like to go next? Okay, yeah. Sure, go ahead. One of you. I went.
Blood continues to shoot out over the bar, and you still hear, and I'm hungry like the wolf.
I'm playing Chaka, who has appeared in some other of Lloyd's adventures. He begins out in the wilds where he usually spends his time hunting and tracking, as well as searching for signs of his ancestors.
Cool. So Nathan or Tepe?
Chepe Le Pepe. I'm playing I'm playing Girosh the Dirge Fist. You see a bustling city, towers reaming up to the sky. An explosion fills up the entire landscape, covers your vision, shrouds your eyes, sucks every morsel of water out of your pores. But you're alive. The life around you is alive. Everything seems fine except for the whole buildings that are demolished. Except for except for the massive amounts of homes left in the wake. People needing to leave the area. This is Ishlav, small boy, watching this video on a hologram screen. The blue light, iridescent, reflects on the slight orange tinge of his skin. He looks at it. Single tear rolls down his eye. You see rushing of individuals breaking in through the home. As he runs out, he runs as fast as he can out of the night, picking up his armor along with him. His training, his monthly vestures left ripped on the rocks and the cracks that he has to climb through in order to escape from his home. A monk of Ishvar who had to leave, the son of a monk of Ishvar who had to leave because of a power he could not fully control.
Sweet. Okay, and Nathan.
I am playing my very first time. I'm a nano. I've not settled on a name yet. I'll get back to you on that. But you would see him. You'd see him trying to bargain with somebody about some information, and his method of bargaining might be a little less than savory, as this man has already tried to assail my character once, and as this man tried to assail my character, this yellow cubic shield wound up forming right in front of my face where his fist was coming. So his fist just entered into this cubic shield, and as he pulled it back, his fist was covered in blood. And as the man kind of crippled down, my character sort of pushes him, so he's back onto the ground, and drops this globe, this glass globe onto his chest. And though it does nothing, it's freaking this guy out. It's doing these spins, these rapid spins around his chest over and over again. My character's just asking for the information he seeks.
Nice. Excellent. So, you guys do know each other. You've been traveling a while, and you've been asked, I would say, instead of commanded, to go and check out. There's a rumor of a machine in the Westwood, and this machine apparently is giving birth. It's changing organic life into synthetic life. It's changing the way that their DNA is written and turning them into machines, and so it's giving birth. Apparently, that's one thing you've heard. You've also heard that it's a gigantic robot and it's spreading down trees, and you've also heard 20 other rumors. That's the one that seems to come around the most. So you've been walking through the Westwood for a couple of days. It's quite a large forest. It is incredibly ancient. The trees are enormous, hundreds of feet tall, dense undergrowth. And you're walking along a path, probably on the end of your first week in the Westwood, and you hear a noise up ahead. Something moving through the underbrush. It's definitely trying to be quiet. You can hear, well, some of you with your incredible senses, you can hear it trying to sneak. You can hear it very carefully, toe to heel, crawling in the underbrush, trying not to stand on dry leaves or anything like that. And then you see it come out of the path up ahead, and it's a man. And he's sneaking, he's got a bow drawn, and he turns in your direction, he sees you, and his eyes just widen. And he puts his hands up, he says, "Whoa, travelers, whoa. I don't want any trouble.
Just as that happens, a small gust of wind blows, and my face kind of dematerializes and gets caught up with the wind. And as it passes, it reforms into my shape. And I say, "What are you doing out here?"
I'm hunting. What are you doing here in the Westwood? It's not a safe place to be.
We're actually wet nurses. We're going to help with the delivery.
He
Woof,
chuckles.
Woof snarls.
Well, I don't want any trouble. We've got a town nearby. Maybe you could come along. I don't know what you're here for, but it's dangerous out here if you don't know the ways of the wood.
So as I walk a little bit closer, my feet just pass through this bit of shrubbery on the ground as I move closer to him, like a ghost of old. Yeah, town. That could be refreshing. And as my billowing cloaks move out like smoke, I turn around, and it's like the bush is on fire. What do you guys think?
I'll go to town. I think you should pick up your You should pick up your bow, though, man cub. Because if I'm gonna kill you, I want you armed. As I'm looking at him, and I have my silver sword out at this point. I'm tracing it with my finger.
Okay. So he maintains eye contact with you and kind of crouches down and picks up the bow very slowly.
Ooh! As he crouches down, I say, "Slowlier."
All right. Very, very slowly. Slow motion goes and picks up the bow. Gets it back up again. Doesn't knock an arrow or anything.
What's the name of your town?
What's the name of my town? Well, I assumed you were going there, but okay. It's called Dearest.
Dearest?
Yes.
It must be dear to your heart.
Not Dearest. Dearest. I'm surprised you haven't heard of it. It's a bustling metropolis in this part of the world.
Oh no, I've heard of it. Yeah, I know all about it.
We've got like 100 people living there.
Hey boy, how good are you of a shot with that bow?
I like to think I'm pretty good.
I'm going to nod my head over at Garage. Go ahead. Loose one at him.
What? No. Why?
Don't worry, boy. He can handle it. I said loose one.
He looks away from Wolf to the rest of the group, kind of like, is this guy for real? I don't.
I would take.
I nod my head yes.
Oh yeah, good. I would take my glass globe and put it on the ground, and watch as it goes from like slowly spinning to quickly spinning to kind of back to a slowly spin, and I would nod at it and then look back. Yeah, he says shoot it.
You're not gonna hurt me, right?
A massive wall of armor erects itself, casting a shadow over this poor fool, but is providing a shelter of safety in between him and his two imbecile of friends. Forgive my compatriots. They are socially inept.
It's the time I spent in the monastery. I don't know the proper ways.
What you doing out here, boy, by yourself? Did your pack cast you out? You one of them Omegas?
No, I'm just hunting. We live in the forest and we have to hunt.
He's a complete beta.
Look, do you just want to come with me? Do you need me to shoot this man? I don't know why you want me to do that. Are you not friends?
No, we don't need you to shoot it. Lead on.
Okay. All right. So he kind of very, very hesitantly turns around and starts to walk.
The moment he turns around, I'm gonna fast approach at him and try to backhand the back of his head.
Okay. Yeah, you're
I'm
well
gonna-
able to do that.
Okay.
It's not like I'm not trying to cause damage. I'm just trying to, like, you know how an alpha wolf would make like a beta wolf submit? I'm nipping at him. Is what I'm doing.
Right.
I come up behind him and I smack him. And as he like stumbles forward, I'm gonna put my foot on him and just show my dominance. I actually don't say anything.
What are you doing? No!
You're
Uh,
leading us to the village, but you're our follower, bitch. You understand?
Yeah? Sure, sure.
All right.
Good
Good.
positions.
What's your name? Bow boy.
Raleb. My name's Raleb.
All right. I'm going to stomp on him now. I want to inflict a little bit of damage with the stomp. I'm gonna say, no, your name is bitch.
Why are you doing this?
Asking questions. Stomp again.
Let me go.
I turn around. The charade now over. I'm sorry, guys. I can't help myself. I'm gonna try to turn into a wolf.
Jesus.
I go incorporeal.
Alright, let's see if I can do it. I did. I have to be in
12,
difficulty
right.
3, so it's a 9. Or is
Okay,
it
yeah,
12?
yeah. No, it's fine.
Alright, sweet. So you see me just burst into this wolf form. I'm tearing my skin off. You see flesh flying, follicles stuck in my nails. I'm just scratching everything off of my body.
The guy is just screaming in terror now. And he's like getting up and he's running.
Alright, I'm gonna hunt him down and just bludgeon him to death. I don't want to cut my meat, so I'm using the bludgeoning end of my sword.
Okay. So I suppose we'll roll initiative here to see if he gets to go first or if you just tear him in half.
Alright, I am trained initiative too.
Okay.
So I don't know if that helps.
It does, yeah.
18. Oh, shit.
Yeah. So you're definitely going before him.
Alright,
So
awesome.
he like kind of like is like just about stumbling up, and he's starting to run away.
Okay. What I'm going to do then, I'm going to use one of my efforts to decrease this attack I'm going to do. And I'm going to use the second effort to add 3 damage if I connect. And then I'm going to use... Oh, let's see what this is called. I've never used this before. Crush. I take -1 to my attack for a +3 damage. So difficulty is decreased by 3. My attack is... Let me roll first. Crit failure.
Oh, nice.
Shit.
Okay. So you're like ripping off bits of flesh and stuff, and then you attempt to run, and you're actually standing with one foot in a log, and you just fall smack right in your face.
He actually passes through my body as he falls through.
Yeah. Absolutely. So just smash on the ground. This guy gets up and just runs for it as quickly as he can.
I look down at Wolf. I pass through him. I shake my head.
So this kid is just running. He's running away as quickly as he can. Are the rest of you going to attempt to chase him or anything?
When I get up, I am.
Yeah. So do the rest of you want to take an action?
No.
That's fine. You don't have to. Like, if you want to just like let it happen, that's fine.
Well, I could kill him right now, the boy, but I think I'm just gonna let Wolf do his thing.
Okay. Yeah, so the boy continues to run for a bit, and then if nobody else is going to do anything, it's Wolf's turn again.
All right, I'm running after him full bore. I'm trained in running.
Okay, give me a roll.
14.
Yeah, you catch up to him, no problem.
Oh yeah. And you hear, and I'm hungry like a wolf, and I jump over a log, flying in the air, claws just streaming in the light.
Okay, so you can also attack him.
Oh yeah, that's happening. I'm just gonna do a normal attack this time. That last one burnt some of my might. 7. Oh, I am trained in my weapon though.
Okay, so yeah, you needed a 9, so then it would be a 6. Yeah, you're fine.
All right, sweet. So it's 6 damage.
Ouch. Okay, so this dude is just freaking the fuck out. He's absolutely terrified, and he's like continuing to try and run away. And then as he's running out of you're kind of like in this, I guess, a groove or a path, and out of the side through the underbrush jumps this creature. It's about 8 feet long, blue skin, with the head of a cuttlefish, just a gigantic sort of cuttlefish head, and just leaps out of the brush and just leaps right onto this dude and just begins to tear him apart, like tentacles going into his eye and pulling out bits of brain. Annihilates him, totally takes him out. It looks in your direction and you see it like taste the air with its tentacles, and then just begins to walk away.
That was my quarry! And now I run and jump at him and I attack.
Okay.
Should I roll initiative versus him?
Seeing this cuttlefish, I would like to go and haunt him.
So if you can imagine, it's about the size of a tiger. So it's huge sort of predatory animal, but instead of a normal head, it's got this big, huge sort of cuttlefish head.
So I put my hands in front of me, and you see this incorporeal, huge, great sword appear in my hands.
Nice. So if you guys want to get involved, you'll need to roll initiative.
All right, sounds good. I got a 1.
Okay, so you'll go last.
I got a 7, but I'm trained.
I got a 10 and I'm also trained.
I got a 6 and I don't think I'm trained.
I don't think so either, no.
I'm trained with attacks. What?
Yeah, initiative is a separate training.
Oh.
Did you say 12, Nathan? Nathan?
6.
6, okay. So 10, 9, 6, 1. Okay, so this thing actually goes first. And it's not interested in fighting you, seemingly. It just tastes the air with its tentacles and then leaps into the brush again. So then it'll be Girosh, your turn.
So it's completely disappeared at this point?
It's kind of jumped into the brush that it came out of. So it's not visible, but it couldn't have gotten that far.
All right. Gerash gestures his hands and he clenches his fist. He assembles the form that he had for all of his years of training. He basically grasps one fist in the air, hurls it down, and is about to choke slam through this bush just to lunge at it.
Okay.
So just making an unarmed attack.
Yep.
All right. 17 plus I'm trained.
Plus you're trained. Okay, then you'll hit.
Okay. And so
What
that's
does your unarmed do?
4 damage.
Okay. All right. So this thing has like leaped into the bush, and you connect with like sort of squishy sort of skin, and you hear a sort of noise.
The force of gravity itself is the thing that imploded on the flesh. There's an ethereal circle around his hand. It looks like I just hit it with like a huge sphere of some kind.
Yeah, the creature is well, certainly wasn't interested in fighting. So 10 was Philip. You're next. Oh no, sorry, 10 was you, Tepe. So then 9 will be Andrew. I mix it up.
All right, so they're out of my vision now, right? I'm standing with the corpse of the boy I was chasing.
Yeah, and the rest of the party.
How much of the corpse is left?
So this
Because
thing leapt
if I
out and
understand, oh, sorry, go ahead.
it put like tentacles pretty much in its head, in the boy's head, and like killed it, but didn't like eat it or anything.
Okay, because I think my primary motivation is once I get taken over by wolf form, I have to eat, like I'm trying to
I
eat
think
a
so
body.
too. Yeah.
So I'm gonna stop pursuit and start ravaging it, just tearing the flesh off and eating it. Going to town on the corpse.
All right, no problem. Nathan, you're next.
All right. So we've got, like, you guys are. Is everybody except Wolf chasing this cuttlefish?
Well, you guys are standing kind of in a path, right? So like a groove, and up ahead, probably about 20 feet from where you are, the boy's body is dead, and the wolf is just tearing it apart and eating it. The creature
Right.
leapt to the right into a bush, and you saw Girosh go over there and like force punch the bush, and you heard a sort of noise when he did that. So you easily figure out that it's in there.
Okay, cool. So what I think I would do, and you're gonna have to help me do said thing. I'm very curious as to sort of everybody's pathology going on here. I've seen Wolf freak out like this before, so I'm just like, I don't even try to figure him out anymore. But this cuttlefish, I'm like, well, that was curious. So I would try to read his thoughts to kind of probe his mind. Of course, I actually really suck at that, so it just winds up slicing his mind.
Excellent. Okay. So you're making an onslaught attack then, yeah?
Yes.
Okay. So if you would like to, before you roll, you can reduce the difficulty. So the difficulty currently is 18 to hit this thing. You need to roll an 18 and a d20. If you want to reduce the difficulty, you can pay... what's your edge in intellect?
It is 1.
Okay, so you could pay 2 points to reduce the difficulty by 1 step, which would bring it to 15. Or you could pay 4 points to reduce it by 2 steps, which would bring it to a 12 that you need.
Let's do that.
Okay.
And that is a whopping 9.
Okay. So you pay 4 points from your intellect pool. You take those away. And then, yeah, you attempt to connect with this thing mentally, but its brain seems to be pretty impenetrable. It's got some serious mental defenses up.
Cool.
Okay, Philip.
You said that we were in a very large forest with big trees, right?
Yes.
I'm going to take this great sword and I'm going to slice it through a tree and fell the tree on top of the beast.
Okay. All right. These trees are pretty huge. It'll probably take you quite a while to get through one, but you can definitely begin that process.
Okay. Do you want me to roll? Maybe I crit.
Yeah, let's do that. It's a
Thank
pretty
you.
huge tree, but let's try it.
Well, I would look for one that's not so huge.
Gotcha. Okay.
It's a 17.
Okay, you can with your incorporeal greatsword slice through what would be, I guess, a relatively small tree, but still a tree nonetheless. And it does begin to kind of crack and fall in the direction of this beast.
Just like a voice, like a whisper. Timber.
Okay, so it goes. Knocks up dust and all sorts of leaves and stuff all over the place. Birds fly out from all over the place away. And you have hit the back end of this creature, crushing it. the bush that it was kind of inside of is now like broken into pieces. So the creature itself is left there. Its back half totally crushed by this tree, and it's kind of just wailing in pain.
If it hurts you so much, why can't I feel it as I walk through these bushes?
So as you approach it, the creature begins to sort of vibrate, and its skin begins to bubble, and then it just explodes, and nothing is left of it. Blue goo covers the place.
So I picture when everyone else is standing around it, like there are these like shadow imprints of where like the goo hit them, but leaves like an imprint in the foliage, right? With me, it's just right through.
Yeah. So yeah, the thing just splats all over the place, and you guys are left with just the hideous noise of wolf eating a young boy.
Now, around my neck is this cord and a large silver alloy medallion that I've been wearing. It's been burning me a little bit for a while now, but now it's just scorching against my chest. Tucked in the middle is a little tuft of hair, and it starts whispering to me as I tear apart the corpse. Monster. Monster. Beast. And I stop, and I start grabbing at it. No! I am in control! Yeah! And I'm going to try to fight it, and it's intellect 2 I have to beat to reverse the transformation. Come on. 4.
God damn it. You continue to be a werewolf.
Alright, I keep ravaging the corpse.
I hear noises, and I've seen him be this way before, so I'm just going to walk around through the trees, avoiding the path as much as possible.
Can I
Heading in
try
the
to
direction of the
assist him and calm the beast to see if I can help him transform back?
Yes, you can, yeah.
So I walk over there next to him. My fingertips just reappear and materialize. And with no fear, like the no fear of something that's dead, I just reach down and touch the top of his head. And just like this stank just billows up out of his fur as he's tearing his body to pieces. Shh. Wolf, wolf. Wolf, wolf. It's okay. It's okay, buddy.
Nice, okay. You can roll again, and you reduce the difficulty again.
Oh yeah, we're good.
Yeah.
So, as he's doing this, my vision starts to go black, and I'm falling in an abyss. And then in front of me, 2 large red eyes materialize, and then yellow teeth. And they lurch out at me right when my eyes open, and I'm laying on the ground. I'm a little bit smaller than I was before. I'm no longer hairy like I was at the beginning of our journey. And my voice has changed. What happened? And I look over, and I see this bloody mess of this boy before me. Oh, God, why? Why did it again?
So my hand is on top of his head. I hold his hair and I smack him. BAM! Get a hold of yourself.
Sorry. It's the beast. It's the
Look
beast.
at the mess that you made. Look at this mess.
I'm rocking back and forth, just squeezing this medallion. I'm squeezing it so tightly it's leaving an imprint in my hands. We have to bury the remains. I can't look at it.
What remains?
Yeah, so... God damn it, guys.
So while they're doing this interaction, again, my character would have seen this all happening before, and in previous times, I probably would have tried to have probed Wolf's mind to either try to help soothe him or help calm him down, but of course that would have just made him much angrier. So I'm frustrated watching Phil's character do this. I'm frustrated, I can't really get involved in the situation. So instead, is there a way, since I'm trained in tracking, would I be able to sort of conjecture where the boy was coming from and figure out where the city is?
Yep, sure. Go ahead and give me an intellect roll.
Just to let you know, my character's name is 314.
314.
314. Perfect. That's a 16.
Oh yeah, no problem.
Cool.
So yeah, you can actually track his steps back to where he came from without much difficulty.
Cool. So while they're all doing that, you see me on the ground, almost like golf caddy style. And the glass globe, I'm watching how it kind of like slopes on the ground and comes back in an elliptical circle. And I'm sort of like graphing it in my head. And then I would stand up and tell the members of my group whether they're listening or not. And I'd say, fortune does happen to be with us. The city is just over there.
It's a huge metropolis. I'm pretty sure it'll be easy to find.
So do you want to go there?
I stand up. The top of my buff coat I was wearing has just been shredded. There's loose bits of it tied around my waist. I'm mostly naked, to be honest with you. I kind of try to cover myself up to portray some kind of decency, and I'm like, I'm done with this place. Let's leave.
See, bustling through the leaves, like rustling of leaves and everything, all the shit shaking. You could tell something's walking through it. A very large mass of orange armor with blue splotches all and purple shit all over the front side of his armor bursts through, and on his arm, like a little butler, carries cloths, basically old priest robes, and he throws them onto a wolf. It's happened before. He was just waiting for the transformation to finally subside.
Perfect.
I had some extra clothes in the pre-gen, so.
Nice.
Awesome. Yeah, I accept that.
Okay. So do you want to continue to the town, or do you want to wander around the forest, or what's the plan?
I would like to go and look at the cuttlefish. I have a small box, and I just want to put some of the goop inside the box.
Yep, no problem.
Is there a tentacle left anywhere?
No, it's just turned goo. There's nothing like physical left. There's no bones even visible.
I smell it. What does it smell like?
Vaguely like ozone. Sort of electrical, sort of. It's definitely charged. And it doesn't smell like cuttlefish.
Actually, I love the smell of this because I'm a bit like air myself.
Mm-hmm.
I close it up and I put it into my billowing cloak.
Perfect.
So yeah, let's move towards the town. Arporius? Is that the name?
Yeah.
Arporius, you seem to indicate that you knew the direction of this town. Would you like to lead on?
Of course, of course. And you'd see me just, like, not curt, but just like conversation's done. So I just start walking. Are you still incorporeal? Because I would almost like accidentally walk through you.
Oh yeah, I'm still incorporeal.
Yeah, so I just start walking through you. Almost like, okay, let's go. And
but I look like the predator at the moment because I'm invisible.
Oh, are you? Okay. Then I would not do that. He's semi-visible, man.
Sorry. Oppression.
Wait, aren't your
Oppression,
fingers still
sorry.
corporeal? You were using your fingers earlier, so I would imagine that because you haven't said that you like made him incorporeal again, so your fingers are probably still hovering around.
Yep.
Okay, so I walk through apparently thing from the Addams family and start heading towards the town. And yeah, I've got a pretty quick step. It's like my feet aren't really bound to the ground almost. The gravity's not sucking me in, so I'm just zipping right along down the path here.
Okay. You guys continue and you get to this bustling metropolis not long after, probably about an hour's walk away. And you see it's not at all a bustling metropolis. It's a small village with maybe 100 people in it. It's got these wooden walls, more like a palisade than a wall, really. Um, Sort of tents and stuff, a couple of wooden houses, but mostly tents. Definitely like a very frontiersy sort of small town.
Would I remember to pick up the bow on my way here?
Sure.
Perfect.
Um, so yeah, you get to this little town, um, and even there's like a gate. I mean, it's more like a hole in the wall, and it's not guarded. You're able to walk in if you want to do that.
Yeah, this time I'm now corporeal.
Okay.
I walk up towards the gate, and I pull out of my billowing robes this small box, and I hold this boy's bow, and I walk into town, and I'm going to be searching for someone who knew him to tell them about his death and the
Okay.
creature.
Sure. So within the town, you enter in, and there's kind of a couple of people walking around, and they kind of look, and then there's somebody calls, and this guy walks out. He's like, he looks probably to be in his 50s. He's got some short cropped grey hair. He walks up to you. What? How did you get here? What are you doing here?
I met a young man off into the woods. I think he said his name was Ralib.
Yes.
As he was leading us towards your village here, he was set upon by a vicious monster. It just completely devastated him. He was left into a puddle of goop into the forest. All that remains is his bow. My companions and I slew the monster, but it exploded into the forest, and I show him and I open up this box of goop that smells like ozone and electrical current.
And he just, Kirosh just points at his armor, with also the same goop covering the front side of his armor with little sparks coming out on the side.
Not Raleb. He was a good kid.
I point over to my friend in the common clothes, Wolf. This one tried violently to save his life. For naught.
I stare down in shame. I won't even look the man in the eyes.
Looks like he looks at the goo and he smells it. He's like, "Yep, it's Tarza. There's these creatures in the forest, and they attack. We don't really know why, and they don't really attack everyone. Just some people. I actually killed one a couple of days ago. I left the body though. You said yours exploded?
Yes, I chopped down a tree on top of it.
Huh. Wow. Impressive.
I know.
Well, I'm going to have to speak with Radov's parents. If you would maybe speak to the elder, or if you want to take a look at the body, it's in a clearing about a mile to the east.
May I give my condolences to his parents?
Sure, if you would like to.
I would.
Okay, so he'll bring you to this relatively nice tent. It's more like a yurt, I guess. And sitting outside of it is a man, and he's whittling a bowl.
Is he whittling a bow?
No, he's not. He's not at the moment. He's currently working on making a food bowl.
I come and I sit down next to him. And I look him over in the eyes, and my pupils are just like air. And I hold his son's bow and say, "Sir, you don't know me, but I have very unfortunate news for you. Today, while in the woods, I happened to come upon your son, Robin. And shortly after meeting him, and I must say he was a fine man, he was set upon by a Tarza, and it decimated his body. All that's left is this bow, and I just wanted you to have it. I'm very sorry for your loss."
So the
And then I stand up and just fucking walk away.
yeah, so you just see this guy like put his head in his hands, and the other guy you've been talking to just like pats him on the back and stuff. Um, so what would you like to do in town? Would you like to talk to other people? Would you like to investigate this body that they found?
I thought we were going to talk to the elder.
Yeah, it's up to you guys. Um, so finding the elder is relatively easy. It's one of the only wooden houses, and you're able to kind of walk in there easily enough. And she is an older woman. She's very tall, slender, and she welcomes you to the town. Welcome. Hello. What can I do for you?
I look over to Jarosh, his body covered in this blue ichor and smelling like ozone. And I look over to Aeroporius. Okay, seeing that they're being silent, I will look over towards the woman and say that we came across your town while on travels. But we hear that your town has been set upon by Tarza recently as of late.
Yes, very weird creatures. They seem to only attack specific people. I have a theory that maybe their blood is sweeter, like mosquitoes, something like that. But it's very troubling. We don't know where they're coming from. We don't know why they're attacking us. It's odd because other people have reported being out in the forest and encountering a Tarza and having no issue. The Tarza simply looks at them and then walks away, tastes the air and then leaves, while others are attacked immediately.
Why don't you have walls? Surely something this vulnerable must have armor to defend itself.
Well, we have palisades. The creatures don't really come in here, but we have to hunt. It's how we get our food. And when people are out in the forest, that's when the attacks happen. So,
Is there an area where they've more frequently occurred?
yeah, they are more common in the east than in the west or any other direction. We haven't really been looking into it. The creatures are quite powerful. Um, they seem well capable of taking out our hunters. Um, Now, Galkin was able to defeat one, and the body is lying in a clearing not too far away. But other than that, everyone who's encountered one has been killed.
And they only
Yes.
travel single, never in packs.
The reports that we've heard has always been of a single creature attacking.
Arporius would want to go see the Tarza body. Would you point me in the direction of the body that I might examine it?
Yes, of course. It's about an hour away from our little village here. You can ask Galkin about it. He can bring you there, or you could just, if you walk pretty much due east, you'll find a clearing with the body.
Thank you. I wouldn't necessarily start off. I'd want to see what my companions were going to do, but that would be probably top of my priority list.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'd definitely go take a gander at the body.
Okay. Yeah, you can do that, no problem. So you guys wander a little bit, and you get to this clearing in the woods. So here you can see a body of a Tarza, almost exactly like the one you had seen. It's kind of bluish, feline body, but very thick and heavy set, with this enormous sort of cuttlefish head at the top. So yeah, you can see this corpse. So I don't know if you'd like to investigate it or something like that.
I'm actually going to stay away from the body, maybe 50 feet or so, and let people far more skilled than myself look at this thing.
I'm going to look at it not as an expert, but more out of grim curiosity.
Sure. So
I
if you
turn
want to
over.
do like a, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to turn over at Arporius. You're skilled in tracking. I've known this.
Yes.
Do you mind examining whether or not the entry points, the clearing, is as he said it was?
Of course, of course. And I would take out my glass globe again and set it on the ground, and it would start circling just around the body of the Tarza. And again, I'd be kind of hunkered down, watching as it kind of slopes and dips and raises with the different changes in the minor topography. Do you want me to roll to see that?
Sure, yeah. I'd say it would be an intellect roll.
Okay. It's a 14.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah. It's the clearing is as the guy described. The body of the Tarza. You actually, while the thing spins around it, the light catches it in a certain way, and you see there's a sort of electronic device right behind the head. If you wanted to pull that out, you definitely could, or you could try.
I absolutely would try to, for sure.
Yeah. So you reach down and you pull this thing out, and it's quite deep in there. You pull it out, and it's kind of like a thin, almost like a ruler, um, with a couple of buttons on there, and you can see that written in a sort of scrolling text is our coordinates.
Perfect. So I would also show this to Gurash.
I know nothing of the Numenera. Why are you showing me this? He says that while with all these liquids that are attached to his belt, various capsules and things. He completely ignoring the fact that he has all this weird stuff that he's collected on his armor. He is like, I know nothing of the Numenera. That is yours.
I look down in this field, in this clearing. There's a small feather on the ground. I pick it up and look at it. I'm back at the monastery, and I'm looking at a feather as 3 compatriots go up to the body of a mountain lion. It appears to be dead, but then I see the mountain lion jump up and decimate their bodies, just ripping them to bloody pieces. And I'm holding again the feather in the field, and I'm looking at these guys.
As you're seeing the flesh being rended, there's a dither dissolve, and you see my hand scratching my nether regions. And I turn around and I look over at our friend Garash, and I say, "You don't know anything about the Numenera, friend. You don't know anything about washing either. What is it with these clothes? They're itchy as hell." I start scratching all over my legs.
Just a painted suit of armor with blue that's splashing all over is orange. Just turns his head at you. You hear the echoing, resounding in the chamber of the headpiece. What? Oh, those are your own fleas, not my clothes. You're the one who doesn't bathe.
I bend down, take out my finger, and touch the beast and put it up to my nose and smell it.
Yeah, it's the same kind of ozone-y sort of smell that you got from the box, the goo from the box. Definitely smells like it's not fully natural.
So I'll just sit there for a second like I'm in deep contemplation. Mind you, I'm not. I'm just smelling what I licked with my finger. And then I'm going to turn back to Grosh and say, I got nothing.
So, looking at this Numenera I pulled out, what would I be able to discern from it?
Yeah,
Aside
so
from the coordinates.
yeah, it's definitely like I guess the closest thing would be like a GPS type thing where it's got a location punched into it. So if you were to like if you wanted to go there, you could find those coordinates.
Okay,
No,
perfect. Do I
you
know
wouldn't know.
about how far it is?
Yeah, it's about a day's walk eastwards.
Okay. So I would relay that information to Garrosh, saying, these are coordinates punched in. Perhaps a day's walk, give or take.
I start walking up to you guys. Did I hear you correctly? You found something inside of the neck of this beast. Coordinates. You say it's a day's walk away.
That is correct.
Why would you go in that direction? Do you think it's the lair of these Tarza?
It's possible. Anything's possible. It could be that they're being controlled. It could be that they're being spawned.
Well, I am interested in finding more Numenera.
Like, I shiver, and even looking at me gives you this feeling of like a really cold wind. Like the type of shiver that makes your testicles just rise up like cold. And my shoulders slump and I say, I don't think I want to fight a lot of those things.
So what's the plan, guys?
So I ask if I can see the thin piece of metal with the buttons on them.
Of course, and I would hand it to you.
I press one of the buttons.
Okay. Good. It begins to beep. Beep, 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 beep.
Uh-oh.
Why go to them when they can come to you?
What does this have to do with rumors? He ponders to himself and he looks over at what was the name of this hunter?
The hunter that killed the thing.
Mm-hmm.
So his name was Galkin.
I don't think he's with us, is he?
He's not. No.
Never mind then.
So I say maybe we leave this beeping device with the creature, and then whatever comes, we'll ambush it.
And what if it is more than one?
Then we leave.
We could take it back to town and watch from a safe vantage point.
Yeah, I say we give it to the boy you ate's father. And watch him tear him to pieces.
In like genuine wonderment, I retort, how old do you think the boy's father is? Does he have many seed sowing days left in him? I'd hate to deprive him of the chance of another son.
I don't know.
He wasn't old.
But then again, we need some kind of distraction.
Well, I'll just take this beeping device and I'll hand it back to Aporius and say, here you go.
I put my hands behind my back and start backing away.
Wait, you said distraction. Look over. You're the one who can turn into a ghost.
I see you're distracting me from thinking.
You would be the best distraction, I would assume.
Oh, I kneel down and pick up 4 twigs. I turn around. You see me doing something, you can't tell what. And then I raise them and I fan them out. Why don't we draw to see who's the distraction? And my eyes shift around sneakily.
I walk over and I grab one of the twigs. It's fucking huge.
Yeah, you pull it out. It's one of the long twigs. You see this look on my face like, you're lucky. I level it and I turn it around and I point it at Garrosh.
I just turned my back to you. I've seen you do this before. This isn't the first time. Gosh, he folds his arms and he just puffs to himself, like his armor, and a bit of it's probably starting to rust at this point because of all the goop that's on his armor still from the thing that exploded.
You see this nasty looking frown cross my face. I turn and I walk over to the last remaining man, Arporius, and I hold him out.
And even though I have seen you do this before, your motive still befuddles me. So I want to learn more anyway. So I grab one to spite myself, and I'll let you tell me if it's short or long.
It's long. And then I look,
Long.
and as my eyes slowly scan across, I pull one out, and I just keep pulling it. It's impossibly long. And I reveal what's left in my hand, and it's a little fucking stump. And I flick it at the back of Garrosh, and I say, oh, looks like you're the distraction.
Not a chance. In all of the 8 worlds.
All right. You hear something approaching.
I go incorporeal. The fucking little beeper in my hand just drops through it. And then wrap.
I make a dash for the bushes.
You see this Tarza come out. Similar kind of creature. It comes out and it is like tasting the air with its tentacles. And it kind of looks in your directions, tastes the air a little bit, and then just begins to walk away.
I whistle after it.
Turns around again. Just some more air tasting. It starts to approach the direction, gets a little bit closer. But doesn't seem to be aggressive.
You hear, shh, knock it off!
And I'm fucking invisible, right?
Yeah. So it keeps coming around and it's looking around. It gets, when you say, shh, knock it off, walks in your direction. Gets pretty close. It sees you.
I try to stand motionless, hoping it's like a T-Rex and it can't see me if I don't move.
I start barking, like...
And then I would pick up the glass globe that was still actually circling around the corpse of the other Tarza, and just kind of like slowly roll it towards this second one, and kind of like catch its gaze right in front of the Tarza, and it's just spinning there in a tiny circle. You know, Tarza's almost like a distracted cat.
So
Yeah, it's looking and it's a little bit confused, and eventually it breaks out of that, and it walks right over to Wolf, just like rubs a tentacle on your arm. Doesn't attack or anything, it's just trying to figure out what's going on.
I don't move. I just try to stay stiff like a board.
So, you hear another noise approaching. This one comes out of the bushes, and it's a man from the village. Clearly, he's got a bow, and he sees the Tarza, and he draws his bow, and the Tarza just leaps at him in the air, barrels him over, and begins to tear him apart. Tentacles in a nostril, out an eyeball, through the ear. Just
I want to run up to this thing and chop its head off.
So once it's finished doing that, it just like gets up and doesn't approach any of you aggressively. If you want to make an attack, you can do that.
All
Go ahead and roll.
right. So moving over like a breeze on a summer day, just carried by this wind, this huge incorporeal soar like a cloud of a hurricane, just like forms overhead, like lightning shooting off of it. Okay, that's a 3.
Okay. So I guess you didn't make yourself corporeal quick enough, and it doesn't actually hack through the creature at all, and it still is not aggressive towards you. You haven't done it any harm. It's just kind of looking at you confusedly. Turns its head to the side.
When it turns its head, do I see another device in it?
No, you don't see one on this one.
Arporius would, because I'm starting to wonder as I play him more if he's maybe not the brightest nano in the box, and he's looking at the Tarza and the body and the bow, and he's kind of like Rain Man style, just kind of like processing it. So he just goes over instinctively and picks up the bow.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good logic, but it's not what the Tarza is looking for. The Tarza just kind of looks at you confusedly, like the way a dog would just turn its head to the side, except this dog is like 8 feet long and has a tentacle head.
And Arporius would do the same thing. He would just have this like cock's head staring back at it.
Sorry, go ahead.
Is there body parts left?
Oh yeah, it's just basically like the other body. The head is just right, like tentacles just go in and out and just like tear the head and the brain apart, but the rest of the body is fine.
So it ate its brain.
And it begins then to walk away back into the brush.
Does it look like to be possible to ride this thing?
You think it probably wouldn't take too kindly to it, but yeah, it's big enough to ride, certainly.
I want to try it.
Okay. So are you just going to jump on it?
Yep.
Okay.
I have a skill in jumping.
Okay. I'm not going to make you roll to jump on it. That's totally fine. You're able to jump on it, no problem. The thing kind of like looks up and just like tentacles start whirling around, and it tries to like shake you off. So if you want to stay on now, you'll do a roll, please. You can use jumping for it.
Okay. I rolled a 14.
Okay, you're able to hold on. You probably grab like a handful of fur.
Woo!
And the creature starts to run into the forest.
As
I'm
he's
smacking
like,
its ass.
you see me over here like, yeah, as he's like dodging back and forth on it. I'm really getting into it.
So yeah, it goes charging into the forest. Do the rest of you want to follow?
I just turn to Garrosh and I say, "Holy shit, did you see that? He's riding it!" Like yelling, I'm so excited.
If only you were that easily trained as well. Garrosh thinks to himself. He's thinking about what it would be like to ride a giant wolf.
He wants to ride wolf.
And following that logic, Arporius would kind of, with the same cocked head, just kind of turn to Wolf and say, "Would you mind tasting this corpse to see if it's the same as the other?"
You see everything just turn black in my mind. I drop my sword. I'm a silhouette, like a wet silhouette of a man. There's a lightning bolt, and you see the man divided in half. On one side the beast, and on one side this frightened little boy. And then the camera rotates, and I'm the frightened little boy. No, I mustn't taste flesh. And I start staggering back.
So 314, you are on the back of this thing, and it's kind of charging through the jungle. through the forest. And it's trying to shake you off, but eventually it figures it's not going to. So it just then kind of drops into a walk, and is walking eastwards.
Nice. I look around. Do I see my companions behind me?
I don't think so. They
I
haven't
want
moved.
to try and guide this thing to head back to where they are.
Okay. So let's say that's an intellect roll, I would say.
Okay, I would like to spend an intellect. What is
Okay,
it? 3 intellect points.
You want to? Yeah. What is your edge in?
My edge is actually in. I have 2 in might and 2 in speed.
Okay. So then it'll cost you 3 points of intellect to reduce it by 1 step.
I would like to do that, please.
Okay, sure.
I got a 12.
Okay, that's exactly enough. So you, however you figured it out, you managed to coerce this creature to go back in the direction that you started in.
So I grab him by the ears, big, fluffy, and I have him in there, and I'm like blowing in his ear, like he's like, I'm like, come on, baby. And I like kick him to one side, and he starts moving around the trees, heading back.
Okay.
So amid the horror of Arporius' suggestion that I taste this human flesh, I see the beast start to head back, and I can hear it coming this way, and I remember, yeah! Snaps me out of it.
And you see me, the triumphant hero, return, riding on top of the monster, both hands out, head up, leaving a trail of smoke.
I just clapped. Good show. Good show.
I imagine you know, like the things on the front of ships. There's like a sea of leaves, and then emerging from is the mast coming out, and Posey 314.
314.
In full form.
Inversion.
Sorry,
I actually
314.
see you. It like jumps over a log in slow motion, and I just see your hair in the wind.
Like my robe goes back, and like this huge volume of blue hairs like breaks out, locks falling down on my shoulders, my chest ripping open. It's like fucking sweat's pouring down, glistening on my rippling muscles.
You just see a star in my eye, like a twinkle, like a sing, and it like overimposes the screen, and then runs away as he lands and returns back to normal speed.
God damn it.
Never mind. That would make it worse.
Okay. The beeping of the device continues. You're now on the back of this Tarza, and it doesn't seem to be aggressive towards any of you. And you hear another set of footsteps approaching.
I say, caution, there's a Tarza here.
It's another Tarza. It walks out of the brush, and similar to the other
I
one,
point to Wolf and say, you should ride it.
it just begins tasting the air. Similarly, it'll walk up to people and kind of like just check them out, but not really be aggressive or anything. So yeah, it's just checking the place out.
He tells me I should ride it. I just plant myself like. I walk over to it and I put out a hand, like I go to touch its head just to see my hand shaking.
Yeah, it doesn't really like recoil or anything. It kind of like wraps some tentacles around your hand.
All right, so I put my hand like on the nape of its neck and I look back and I say, up, and over, and I jump and try to straddle it.
Oh, you do?
I land, I'm like, whoa! As it
This
like
thing
rocks.
starts fucking bucking up like a wild, fierce creature. Its paws claw in the air, trying to fucking throw you off.
And I hold its nap really tight. I'm trying to hold on, but I'm not as like balanced as your guy is. And because I'm swift, I actually have an ability of balance. So you see a leg pop up. Whoa! A leg pop up on their side. Look out, man! And then I go rolling off of it, just thrown into the muck.
Me and my Tarza, we walk next to you. The Tarza and I's head, like, in synchronicity, like, we just, like, shake our heads back and forth. We're, like, one now.
I get up, and you see me take my hands, and I just wave down this casual clothing I was given by Garosh. Throw clumps of mud to the floor. I just smeared it all over myself. And I just look at him like a little kid that fell into a mud pit. I don't suppose you have another set of clothing.
I'm afraid not.
Wow. You just see like fumes coming off of my head, and I'm leaning over.
You should probably go over there and look at that transmitter that's beeping. Maybe it's calling more and more Tarza to the area. Perhaps you can lead them away.
I look at Garosh and I just say, "You're good with technology, right?"
Not at all. And then you see like a bunch of bubbles coming out. These little vials full of blue and purple, different kinds of liquids, and the colors are changing, and there's more and more bubbles coming in each one. Not at all. It's just adjusting.
I lean over again and you see the fumes. Wow. I turn this time and I look at Arporius. Arporius, you're good with technology, right?
Yes, rather.
Maybe we can figure out what this thing is doing, because it looks like it's calling them here.
Well, we could either throw it and get rid of them, or keep it and perhaps tame more, and that would truly billow our fortune.
I agree with the latter sentiment. I think it's the more important. Perhaps if we have an army of Tarza, we can take out this monster that's giving birth to machines.
Are you suggesting that we be a billowing wave of Tarza riding up through the forest and overtake them?
That is what I'm suggesting, yes. And I pull out my sword and I point it up towards the sun.
Is the sun like shining through it? Is part of it still incorporeal? Like you only see the outline and it's just the sun at the tip of the blade, as if the star itself.
Just like the edge, right? Just the edge shimmers with sunlight,
and it
then
goes
the rest
Indiana
of it
Jones
smoke.
I imagine it goes like Indiana Jones style, and like the light goes down on my suit of armor, like I'm just a totem, and you just aim the light like right on the bit of between my eyes, where my headpiece should be.
Your entire body, Chepe, then like explodes at the center and rolls out like burnt paper, and you see a fist come down on a hand, and it slowly goes back, and you see my face with my eyes super wide. Yes! 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 Yes!
While I'm riding a Tarza, I start walking around in a circle. It's prowling. Like, my shoulders moving up with its body, my other shoulder coming down. I'm pointing my swords towards you. Will we be the knights of the Tarza?
Yes. Yes. I get up now, and I just run full bore back at this thing. I got it this time! And I jump and try to straddle it again.
This fucking thing takes this giant paw, grabs you by the chest, boom, holds you down. Ugh, like your air, I hear it just goes.
Out of my mouth comes a billow of spit and agony. As this huge paw is just planted on my chest.
I walk by you. You have to dominate it, wolf.
I don't think it likes me.